I'm Showbiz Shelly, and I'm here at Stake 48 with my good friend Sam Acho of the Chicago Bears, here for Ambission. And Sam, first of all, you're one of my favorite people, I think, in maybe all of Chicago.
Showbiz. Well, I'm Showbiz Sam. I just want to name like Showbiz. I mean, like, I don't even call you. I just call you Showbiz. Like,
That's
I walk
fine.
up, I see Showbiz, and you know what's up.
Yeah. And I see Sam, and I'm like, Sam.
Yes.
Sammy.
Yes.
Sammy.
And
Sam.
I was growing up. I was Sammy.
Okay.
And I thought it was cool. I was fine, right? And then I remember being a freshman in high school, and we had a basketball game, and there was a girl that was in the stands. We were watching a different team, and her name was Sammy.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, I was like, I can't be Sammy anymore. Like, it's got to be Sam. It can't be Samuel is even better. So
it brings up bad memories for you. So
yes,
I won't. Okay.
yes,
Sam.
yes.
Sam Acho from the Bears. And so, like I say, here for Ambition, where we talk to ambitious people who are on a mission. And you, I think, are one of the most ambitious people. And you have one of the biggest missions that I think is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so, Stake 48, you're hosting this event here,
Yes.
September 11th.
Yes.
Talk all about it.
Yeah, so September 11th, Monday night, right after we play the Atlanta Falcons, we're hosting an event here at Stake 48, and it's going to be a celebrity waiter night. And so it's going to be me and all my Chicago Bears teammates coming and serving you, right? So it's a 3-course meal, food, wine, the whole deal. And we're doing it for a good cause, a cause that's near and dear to my heart, Living Hope Christian Ministries, which is a foundation, a nonprofit that my parents started 29 years ago. And so what we do, we go with our ministry, we go to Nigeria every summer, and we do medical mission work. So we bring doctors, nurses, surgeons, dentists, ophthalmologists, pharmacists, pediatricians, and we just like give out free medicine. And so now, and just last year, we were able to serve over 5,000 people, right? See 5,000 patients, do 100 surgeries, and actually we were able to open a place called Living Hope Medical Center. And so when people come to this event, which is going to be, once again, Monday night, and you can go to achowaiternight.com for tickets. People come to this event, you're going to be able to help raise funds for Living Hope Medical Center.
How good does it feel to be able to put on this event, do this whole thing, have your teammates join in, and to be doing it for something so great? Like, what does that feel like? Yeah,
well, I mean, Showbiz, you know, like anytime you get a chance to serve and just like to give of yourself, right? I know, like, I play in the NFL. This is my 7th year. Like, I don't deserve this, right? People, you can say I worked so hard or whatever, but I didn't work to be 6'3", 260, right? Like, that's genes, right? God gave me that.
You got lucky.
God gave me that. You know what I mean? But with what he gave me, I tried to grind. I tried to, like, stay clean, right? Not be one of those athletes who you read about in the papers. I try to go the other route, and God has kept me from a lot of stuff. And but I want to use my influence and use my platform to give back and to serve. And so that's why we go to Nigeria with Living Hope Ministries. That's why we do what we do, because I know that, shoot, I could have been born over there with no lights and no running water, and I wasn't. And so I know I have a great opportunity to give back.
Well, and I think it's important for people to know too, this isn't something just a one-time thing. You've done this for years. Years you've gone to Nigeria.
Yeah, I've been going since I was about 15 years old. So I've been going 10, 12 years I've been going on this trip. And I mean, it's amazing. Every time I go, it's like, I don't want to leave. I go and I literally don't want to, and I usually go right before the season starts. And so like our little, we have 5-6 weeks off. I don't want to leave, and I don't think about anything but the people there that we're serving, the people that we're helping. It's just like anytime you serve, anytime you give of yourself, you don't want to stop.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's rewarding.
Addicting almost,
It's
right?
addicting.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally remember having a conversation with one of the guys there, and we had just finished up our 11-day, 12 days of work, and we're kind of packing up, getting ready to leave. We were outside just looking up at the stars, and it was like, man, like, I could do this forever.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's amazing because, like you say, you can go, I feel like you have certain categories sometimes of athletes, they fall into one, and then you have you who's sort of doing all this mission stuff, which is so fantastic. And I love that so many of your teammates are getting involved too.
Yeah, and
they're behind you.
That's the thing, they're behind. Like, people think of athletes, and a lot of times they think of us as like dumb jocks, right? Or all you do is play football, you can't do anything else, or you get in trouble. And it's like, no, we're people.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, you're a celebrity. You don't. No, we're people. I'm a Christian. I'm a dad. I'm a son. I'm a father. I mean, I'm a husband. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just a football player, right? I'm not just a quote celebrity.
Right.
I have stuff that I care about, and my teammates do too. And so I have a bunch of teammates who have a bunch of great causes they support, and they support my cause. I support their cause, and together we can change the world.
Now, I love that. So coming back around to this, do you actually cook? Are you going to be cooking?
So unfortunately, actually probably more fortunately than unfortunately, I won't be
Okay.
cooking. Even at home, my wife does all the cooking, and she like if she was cooking, we'd be in good business. But so I'll be serving, right? And me and my teammates, we're actually going to be competing, right? So we're obviously.
Okay.
Every professional athlete, even if you're like an everyday athlete, right? You're walking, you compete. And so we're competing for most valuable waiter. And so what's gonna happen is, so get your tickets, achowaiternight.com, come to the event, and as soon as you come, you're gonna get Monopoly money, right? So you're gonna come, give $100, whatever, get Monopoly money, and then that's gonna be your tip money, right? So us waiters, us athletes, the celebrities, we're gonna be vying for your tips. And so anyways, at the end of the night, we're going to have an award for the most valuable waiter. Alshon Jeffrey won last year, which I think was still unfair. I think it was rigged. Alshon won last year. But I mean, like I said, Alshon, George McCaskey, our owner, came last year. Richard Dent, a Hall of Famer, 1985 Bears was there last year.
How do you plan? What's your strategy? How do you plan to?
$1 million smile.
Which he has.
Which I'm going to try and use that, but that didn't work last year. So my strategy is just to be myself, right? And the colluding. Guys last year, they were colluding.
See.
And they still didn't win. So, right? So cheaters never prosper, what's the song? So I don't know. I'm just gonna be me and try and get a lot of tips.
Tip him nicely. He's one of the nicest guys I know.
Most valuable waiter.
Yeah.
Yes. Showbiz is gonna be there.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I am. Real quick, I want to do something called Shelly Shakes It Up, or
All right.
Showbiz Shakes It Up. So
Okay.
this is just like a little thing I do where I have questions, I'm shaking them up.
All right.
Just pick one
Here we go.
random.
So you want me to read it out?
Yeah, read it out loud.
When was the last time you lied?
Cried. Or lied.
Or lied. I was like, ugh. Just during this interview? I don't know. Last time I cried.
Yeah.
The last time I
you're a
cried.
sensitive man.
I am,
Yeah.
and I take pride in that.
Yeah, as you should.
The last time I cried, give me a second, because I know
Was it maybe a movie?
it wasn't a movie.
No.
I remember, I know it was an emotional time. When was the last time I cried? I remember, so I know during draft day, I cried. And no one tears of joy, no. It was because the teams that said they were going to pick me didn't pick me.
No.
And so I was like, these liars.
Yeah.
This was the time they lied.
They lied, okay.
But I remember crying then. And also I remember, I don't know, there actually was a time showbiz where I think right before training camp or maybe even that during that Nigeria trip where I was just kind of overwhelmed by just God's grace and kindness to me. For me having a beautiful wife who I love and she loves me and having 2 beautiful kids, right? And then still playing in the NFL. So again, I have a lot of friends who don't play anymore. And I still have a chance to play. And I remember being on my knees, just praying and just literally being in tears because I was like, I don't deserve any of this, yet God gave it to me. And so that was the last time I cried.
But see, the thing is, and the thing that I love about you is you have so much gratitude for everything you have, and that's the key for everything, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't sit here and just think that I did this on my own. How could I have done? I didn't do this on my own, right? It's just literally the grace of God. And so, but I rarely sit back and think about it. And so the last time I cried, honestly, was probably a couple months ago, before Nigeria, after Nigeria, before the season though, where I was just thinking about all that God has done and what he's kept me from and where he's taken me. And I'm like, dude, I don't deserve it.
Well, you do. But a whole nother thing I want to do with you is a relationship podcast. Maybe we can do that sometime.
I'm down. Let's make it happen. People need to know there's a lot of men out there that need to get married. Stop playing video games. Showbiz, are you single?
Yes.
Okay, there's some men out there. Come on, what's up? Get off the game.
This is what I'm saying.
Get off the game.
Or go home from the bar.
Yeah.
And right?
Get a hold of it. Men are we're called to lead. I mean, we want to achieve, we're competing, you want to take over, right?
Yeah.
So get your life in order.
I feel like, and this is the whole
Come holler at Showbiz Shelly.
Yeah, seriously, but I feel like there's a Manboy problem in Chicago.
100% in the United States.
In the United States.
In America,
You're
yeah.
Right, yeah, and y'all, yeah.
I think there is. I think so many people, they don't understand what it's like to be a man. My wife and I were talking about this last night.
Yeah.
What it means to be a man. She's like, what would you say it means to be a man? And I said, number one, you have responsibilities. And not only do you have them, you take care of your responsibilities, right? A lot of guys think about it oh, I have a son, right? But I don't see him. I don't teach him I don't teach him how to, become. You have responsibilities. You take care of your responsibilities, and then you also like take care of other people's responsibilities as well. So let's do it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you have like a clone of you or friends, I mean, that's, like I say, is a whole
I'm saying
other...
like, hey, there's a lot of people way better than me. So yeah, he's got to get off the video games, get out the bars, get out there, and just like figure out who you are, right? Like figure out who you are and come holler showbiz.
That's right, I love it. Just last couple of things I want to ask. First of all, do you have any take of everything happening in Texas? I know you went to University of Texas. I mean, it's just devastating to watch, right?
Yeah, so I got a teammate who's from Houston, and like after practice yesterday, he was in tears.
I bet.
His family's stranded. The governor or mayor had told people in that area, you don't have to leave, you're going to be fine. Lo and behold, 2 days later, now they're flooded, they're stranded, and he's devastated. He doesn't know what to do, right? I'm from Dallas, right? 4-hour drive from Houston, 1 hour, 45-minute flight. We need it. Like, people need help, you know? And so, I don't know, my take is like, don't take it lightly. It's not something to joke about or to make, to make light of. Like, there are people who are stranded and need help. And so, like my family and I, we're gonna donate not only money, but we're also going to donate like items, right? Like things.
Right, because they need supplies.
Yeah, supplies. So we're going to do that. I know the Bears are donating some stuff, right? So I'd encourage you, like, that's another thing men do. They lead. They just take that step of faith and say, you know what, I'm going to help. People say, well, who knows where the money's going to? Like that. You can sit here and you can sit back and say it all day, like, do something, right? And so, yeah, I'm praying for the people in Houston, number one. And we're also we're trying to help in whatever way we can. So I'd encourage everyone to go and to help and to serve, right? You got a boat to take
that step.
I'm just saying, take a step.
Yeah. Last but not least, of course, let's just talk real quick Bears.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting season.
It's going to be an exciting season, right? And I know you're not a huge sports person.
I'm not, but I know that much.
So we don't have to talk Bears. You don't want to talk Bears.
No, I do a little.
But no, so we're pumped. So we are getting ready for our season. We're season openers against the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, they were in the Super Bowl last year, and so they're a good team. But I'm excited for what we've been able to build, right? We're developing our identity. We develop it during the preseason, and so now it's time for the regular season to really develop that identity of who we are as the Chicago Bears. It's a team. Our standard is not what the fans say. It's what we say. We're accountable to ourselves, and we're accountable to each other. So 2017 Bears, it's time to go.
Do you want to make any calls, like wins? How many wins?
I'm not. You can make some calls, Showbiz.
No, I can't.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm
so
doing.
neither of us are making any calls on wins, but we're gonna go out there and I mean we want to be great.
Yeah.
We really do, and so we understand that it takes coming in and day out and committing to greatness. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. You just every day I think you commit to greatness.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
You got to, Showbiz. Like I mean, you could walk around this life and mope and cry and whine, or you could be like, you know what? It's another day. Like, I'm breathing, you know what I mean? And so I think you take that approach, I take that approach.
Yep.
And yeah.
So a lot of people might say to someone like yourself, stick to sports, do what you do. You're a sports guy, you're an athlete. How do you take it when people say that?
Well, I think first and foremost, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, like, I'm a child of God. I'm a Christian first, right? I felt like I that's who I am. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm an African American, I'm a U.S. citizen, right? So like when things happen relating to, talk about like domestic violence, right? Well, I'm a husband. I have a wife. I wouldn't want any man beating on any woman, right? So if I go out and say, hey, stop hitting your girlfriend, to say stick to sport doesn't make any sense, right? Like I'm a man. Right, so I feel that, right? Look at like rape culture, right? In colleges, right? I have a daughter. I have a 10-month-old, right? I have a daughter. So if I'm not speaking out, like one of my favorite verses is in Proverbs. It says, "Speak up for those who can't speak up for themselves." It says, "Speak out and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy." Right, and so like, I can't sit here and not say something. Look at what's going on in Houston. Even what J.J. Watt's been able to do, right? Raising money and like. You have to be able to speak up for those who can't speak for themselves, because maybe that's the reason why I've been given this platform. There's a book in the Bible called Esther, and it's about this woman who, long story short, she was like not even a slave, but like one of the lesser people of a lesser like class of people at that time, if you will, and she became queen. And the king didn't know her identity. They didn't know that she was a Jew in a place that Jews weren't living, right? And so anyways, she became queen, and there came out this report where the king was gonna kill all of the Jewish people, right? And so like Esther's uncle was like, hey, you gotta say something, right? Like, this is like, you're the queen, he's the king, go do something. And she was kind of scared or whatever. And then he said, his name was Mordecai, said, like, and it's in Esther 4:14, he's like, how do you know that you didn't become queen for such a time as this, right? And so she goes, she says something, and then all of a sudden the king changes the decree, and you know, and the Jewish people at that time were saved. So like for me, Sam, you play in the NFL, right? Maybe you should be scared. Just stick to sports. Don't say anything. How do I know that I'm not in the NFL for such a time as this? How do I know I'm not in Chicago? Look at all the murders going on in Chicago, right? Like, somebody needs to speak up about that, right? There's turmoil in Houston. There's turmoil in Chicago. Sure. We can't just turn our backs. How do I know I'm not in Chicago playing for the Chicago Bears for such a time as this? And so I believe that God has perfect plans for people, and I think his perfect plan for me is being here in this seat, in this chair, in this team, in this city, to speak up for those who can't speak up for themselves.
And I almost feel like we're constantly presented opportunities until you kind of seize it and you recognize, okay, it is my time. Let me go grab it.
Yeah, and if you don't do it, I mean, somebody else will. Somebody else will, right? Yeah. Like, you know, with that story of Esther, God could put another queen in place, right? So if you don't want to do it, cool. You lost your job at being queen. Let somebody else do it, right? And so that's kind of my mentality for such a time as this. Yeah. Sean, you got any questions, man? You got about the phone? No, I'm kidding.
I think you did have one. You want to know about Ballers? If Ballers is real?
Oh, I don't even watch Ballers. Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes, and it's kind of like, so Ballers is kind of real, kind of realistic, but kind of, I mean, some of that stuff is way over the top, but also some of that stuff, like, it's based off of, you know, true stuff that really happened. And so I think it might be a little bit exaggerated, but it's not too far-fetched.
Yeah. One last question, we're not done. Sam, so ambitious people on a mission, what's your mission, would you say? What's Sam Acho's mission?
So my mission, or I guess what I want to make my mission, is to seek justice, to love mercy, and this is biblical as well, right? Seek justice, love mercy, and just to like walk with God, right? I had a friend who called me, one of my best friends from Phoenix, who called me, and he was like, dude, I don't know what to do, like, you know, what's going on, like, with my life, and this and that, and I was like, dude, like, God's coming out, he wants you, you know what I mean? And so anyways, like, I know I have a great platform in my locker room, right? And so I need to be, like, number one, seeking justice, right? Like, to speak up for those who can't speak up for themselves, to like show mercy. We live in a culture where everybody's so harsh and like quick to call people out and quick to just like hate, right? And like, no, show mercy, right? And just like to walk with God. And at this point, it's on the football field, it's in the locker room, it's in Nigeria. And so that's those are some of my goals.
To jump to that space of kindness, maybe, instead of automatically to that.
Yeah, to be kind, like, you know, like, there's enough people who get angry so quickly. Like, I want to see the bright side. I want to be a beacon of light to a culture that doesn't have a lot of light.
You're great, Sam.
Showbiz, you're great too.
Can't wait. September 11th, we'll be here. Celebrity Waiter Night. Tip him.
Yes, tip me. AchoWaiterNight.com. Come to the event. Bring your money. Tip me. Akeem Hicks is going to be there. He's going to want your tips. Don't give him your
How
tips.
can you deny this guy?
Give me
Come
your
on.
tips, all right?
Yeah. See ya.